this webinar. I'm sorry that the webinar yesterday didn't go as planned. I was having problems with connections. So without further ado, let's get down to what I was going to tell you and what you can learn. I'll stick my glasses on now and we'll get going. You're going to see a picture of me rather than video, which makes life a little bit easier. So let me just do this and then we can get going. Give me a moment. There we go. Okay, so hi everyone and welcome to my webinar. I'm thrilled that you decided to join me today. Thank you. There's so many new authors and books just on Amazon alone. How on earth do you get heard about them? I'm going to share some really helpful tips with you today and let you know exactly what you can do to start getting your author voice heard above the roll of the crowd using social media, Goodreads and Amazon. So before we get started, I want to tell you I love interaction. I love to hear your questions so that I can incorporate them, if I can, into the content to make sure everyone gets the most out of our time together. And obviously, as this isn't a live webinar and this is a recording, if you have any questions, please feel free to email me at clairehp@booktalkradio.info. So let's go ahead. There's a lot of marketing information to cover. Let's just change the slide here. So I don't want to waste time with housekeeping items, but I do want to make sure you have a good, strong connection to the internet. If you're on a desktop device, you'll experience less buffering, and you might want to close any other tabs you have open within your browser, as they tend to drain your computer's resources, which can cause that annoying buffering. So let's see where we go from here. All right. So if you're joining this webinar today and you've already published your book, or about to, or even thinking of publishing a book, then the strategies that I'm going to discuss today will be absolutely applicable to you. This is going to be time well spent. Now, I know you didn't come here to hear about me, but as we're going to spend some time together, I wanted to introduce myself to you. My name is Claire Perkins, and I'm also an indie author, founder of Book Talk Radio Club and the Facebook group Authors Promoting Their Books. I started out in marketing over 25 years ago as marketing manager for one of the UK's most successful niche tour operators, selling ranch and activity holidays to the USA. From there, I became marketing director to two separate international watch brands, promoting and marketing them to jewelers, both multiples and independents, department stores, and at exhibitions both here in the UK, Switzerland, and the USA. So lots of marketing and promotional experience there. I then decided I had to write my book that had been waiting to be written for well over 15 years, and in 8 weeks wrote, published and marketed Life Purpose, How to Find Your Reason for Living. And then about 5 months later, the Dear God letters. I'm pleased to say both books are selling well on my website, Amazon, Barnes & Noble and Kobo with 4 or 5-star reviews. I set up Book Talk Radio Club because as a self-published author, I know how hard it is to get your name out there. I was let down very badly by a national radio station that should have known better and cancelled my on-air interview to an audience of thousands at the last minute. In fact, I was on the train at the time travelling to the interview, thanks guys. But hey-ho, rather than stay angry and upset, I decided to see if I could set up my own internet radio station, kind of like talk radio, but Book Talk Radio, to give indie authors the voice they deserve and the marketing and promotion they desperately need. Recently on Facebook, someone told me that self-publishing wasn't the real deal and that anyone who's self-published couldn't call themselves a proper author. How dare they? I will defend indie authors until the day I drop. As self-published authors, we have a huge steep learning curve from writing the book to formatting it, to editing it, to pricing it in different currencies and on different sales platforms. And then we have to get out of our safe little writing space and learn how to market and promote it. Well, I'm here to champion your cause, and I'm here to make your life just that a little bit easier. I have successfully marketed and promoted authors and their books from the UK to South Africa, from the USA to the Czech Republic, and everywhere in between. So, what are we going to talk about today? Number 1, your author brand. What is an author brand? Number 2, Goodreads and Amazon author pages. Number 3, reviews of your books pre-publication and why it's important. Number 4, author pages on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Number 5, the promotion and marketing of your books on social media. Number 6, don't be backwards in coming forward, or how to not to annoy people when promoting your books. And number 7, your author voice. So let's get started, shall we? Okay, your author brand. What is an author brand? It's not enough just to be good at what you write. You need to be able to create an emotional connection with your reader, often before they've had a chance to read your book. how you position your work, how you distinguish yourself from others in your field and genre, as well as how all your efforts are perceived or interpreted by your readers can be the difference between a brand that works or one that fizzles. Effective branding is the foundation to the development of your writer platform and audience building efforts. The author who can tap into what their readers yearn for and construct an entire experience around what they crave is the author that earns a devoted fan base. We're judged, assessed, and evaluated by others. People will interpret your work, your relevance, and the value you offer by what you intentionally and unintentionally share. From your social media updates, blog posts, and article contributions, to your podcast interviews, author collaborations, or your newest release, everything adds to the bigger picture of who you are. As your sphere of influence and visibility increases, so does the number of people who have the opportunity to form an impression about you. It's unavoidable. Whether you're actively building your personal brand or not, it's happening. So why not be deliberate in shaping the direction it takes? Number 2, Goodreads and Amazon author pages. Why do you need Goodreads and Amazon author pages? Well, firstly, Goodreads is a platform for readers. They have over 25 million members, of which a good proportion visit the site regularly, and there right away you have a captive audience for your books. Why Amazon? Well, love it or hate it, millions upon millions of readers buy their books from Amazon. But know this, there are also millions of authors trying to sell their books on this platform too. You're presumably one of them, and if your author page is bare or incomplete, the reader's just going to go and click elsewhere. And for goodness sake, check your spelling when doing your bios. There's nothing more off-putting for a reader if the words in your bio are misspelled. What's your book going to be like? Create the right impression for your author brand. You have got, and I repeat that, got to have a Goodreads and Amazon author page. It's easy to sign up for a Goodreads author account. If you're a member of Goodreads, then you can sign up for one. Any author anywhere in the world can join the Goodreads author program for free. All you need is a published book or a soon-to-be published book that can be found in their database. The Goodreads author program allows published authors to claim their profile page to promote their book and engage with readers. Once verified, your author profile will include the official Goodreads author badge, which you can use to tell your fans to follow you on Goodreads. To create an Amazon author page, just Google Amazon Author Central and follow the instructions. Again, it's very easy. Make sure you have a head and shoulders picture of yourself on both of these sites, and to continue your author brand image, keep them the same. Don't forget at the end of typing your bio for both platforms to include links to your social media pages and your website and or blog. Just take a sip of coffee because my mouth gets dry. Okay, right, reviews, pre-publication. I'm going to take a moment here to talk about reviews of your books prior to publishing them. Why do you need them before you publish? Well, you may or may not know that you can upload your book on Amazon prior to publication date as a pre-sale or pre-publication sale. That way, readers can order and pay for your book prior to it being released, and when it is, they immediately have the book sent to them. So here's why you need pre-publication reviews. You want to build an interest, and you want potential buyers to see that your book has already gotten good feedback on it. That way, they're more likely to purchase it if they see reviews, hopefully positive ones. So how do you get these reviews? Well, of course, you can ask your friends and relatives to read your book and ask them to leave a review on Amazon. But here's where ARC and beta readers come into play. They can provide helpful insights on how to improve the important elements of your story, characters, setting, and plots. And they can also point out plot holes and continuity issues. They also provide suggestions for spelling, grammar, and fact-checking. The beta reader is a non-professional reader who receives a pre-edited, not first draft, give them your best writing, copy of your work. Ideally, this person will be someone who is in your target audience or who reads a lot of books in your genre. So how do you find your beta readers? Gather a list of beta readers earlier on and send your work to them during the revision stage. A good place to find beta readers is on your own social media platforms. Periodically send out a few tweets and Facebook posts asking if anyone would be interested in providing feedback for your work in progress, and make a list to keep track. Keep their emails and stay in touch. An ARC reader, which is an advanced review copy reader, is a person who receives a pre-published copy of your book, usually after final editing, but before proofreading. ARC readers are given a free copy of your book in exchange for leaving an honest book review, typically on Amazon and or Goodreads, once the book is available for pre-sale or distribution. Again, you'll want to begin making a list of ARC readers early on, at least 8 weeks prior to your anticipated book launch date. So again, where do you find your ARC readers? Well, there's no rule on who you can ask to review your book. Ask your friends, family, book club, fans, book bloggers, anyone who you think might be interested in reading and reviewing your book. Just be sure to keep track of who signs up so you can update and follow up as the launch date gets closer. Keep in mind, you might ask 100 people to review your book and get a fraction of those people to say yes. Yeah, I know it's a tedious process, but if you're starting your book launch with a good few positive reviews, it's totally worth it. Be sure to send out a friendly reminder a week before your book launches to your list of ARC readers to leave their reviews. Author pages on social media, Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Equally important, if not more so, is to have separate author accounts from your personal accounts on Facebook and Twitter, and to a certain extent in Instagram. Again, ensure that your profile pic is the same one as on your Goodreads and or Amazon author pages to keep the continuity of the look of your author brand. When you add a cover image, make sure the dimensions are correct and fit the right size. Nothing looks worse than parts of your precious book covers or bits of your name missing. I use Canva, C-A-N-V-A. It's free unless you purchase some of their images, which are just $1, and it's brilliant for social media posts. More on that in a moment, as it offers the correct size templates for Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. I think it's also got the template for a YouTube cover image. That's canva.com, C-A-N-V-A.com. And now the big one, the promotion and marketing of your books on social media. Here we go. Here's where the fun and games start. How much should you be posting about your book? Once a week, twice a week, only on weekends? There's no hard and fast rule on this subject, but remember, you don't want to appear too spammy and put potential readers off. Just think how you feel when someone keeps calling you and trying to sell you something. It is really off-putting, isn't it, to say the least? 3 or 4 times at the most in a week is when you're going to want to promote your book. The rest of the time, just get to know your fans and followers, and don't forget to thank them for following you. When I thank a new follower on Twitter, I add a link to Book Talk Radio Club's website and the logo. You, of course, can add an image of your book. Try scheduling your social media posts on hootsuite.com. That's HOOTSUITE.com. Very useful. Hootsuite.com. I have a spreadsheet of the posts I want to send out for each day and the places where I want them to appear, and then every Monday I schedule for the week and I know it's done. I get quite a number of authors saying to me, why don't people engage with my posts? Well, my answer is, why would they be interested in your book? They don't know who you are. Where are you promoting? It's no good being too general when it comes to the marketing and promotion of your hard work. If your book is about parenting, then post in Facebook parenting groups. If your book is about nutrition, then post a group about nutrition, and there you have your target audience. I'm not suggesting you only post to your book's target audience. By all means, post elsewhere. But if you have a specific genre and can find a group specific to your book, then concentrate your efforts there. You'll also need to know that you can't make people buy your books, and I'm going to repeat that. You need to know you can't make people buy your books. They'll buy when they're interested in what you have written and gotten to know you as a person and the author that you are. So please don't feel you're failing in some way. You're not. You know your book is good, so it's not your book. It's the number of eyes on your posts and the type of posts that you're posting, which is what I'm just about to go through. It feels like Facebook seems to continually change the goalposts when it comes to your posts and who sees them. It would take a whole different webinar to explain them, but let's dig a little way in and see if I can give you some tips and tricks here. In the early days of Facebook, when you would post something on your timeline, everybody would see it. But as Facebook has grown over the years and there's more content, every time you go on Facebook, there are over 1,400 stories that could potentially show on your newsfeed one at a time. So Facebook has to decide what content is particularly relevant for you. The way it does this is down to many different factors that are constantly changing. So they use an algorithm. Yes, the dreaded Facebook algorithm. It's there to help Facebook decide what to show to each of its users, to personalize their user experience to make it most relevant to them. It's judged on many things, such as engagement, on our likes, on our shares, what pages we like, our age, our gender, our relationship status, and also what we're looking at away from Facebook. For example, I was looking at different marketing ideas prior to my first webinar in July, and since then my Facebook feed comes up with marketing for webinar posts. We need to play with the algorithm so it works in our favour, so our content gets put in front of our audience's eyes. This algorithm will judge your posts on their affinity. So what does this mean? An affinity means a relationship you have with other Facebook users. It's more likely to show your post to someone you interact with on a regular basis, someone who you have a lot of mutual friends with. So the obvious way to improve your affinity score with your potential customers is to engage with them, like their posts, comment on their posts, and that will give you a boost in your affinity score. It will also judge on the engagement of the post that you've just put on Facebook, especially in the moments after you post it. For example, if you post about your new book and it gets a lot of comments and likes and a lot of shares, then Facebook decides that it's a popular post and gets seen by more people. The obvious way to improve your engagement is to give valuable content that people will like and like what they see. Older posts are eventually seen by no one, so what you can do, and here's a clever little trick, comment on your own post. For example, you're posting in a very busy Facebook group and you know your post is going to get buried. Find your post again by putting your name in the search box to the left of the group's newsfeed, and this will bring up your most recent post on that group. Find the one you want to comment on, click on it, and your post will be in front of you. Make the comment and hit enter, and hey presto, your old post will pop up on the top of the group's newsfeed for all to see again. Shh, don't tell anyone I told you that though, will you? I have to say, you've got to be careful of being overly salesy because people have much more control over their newsfeed these days. They can unfollow you and unfriend you. Turn off your posts so they don't see them. Also, Facebook will stop your post reaching a greater number of people because it wants you to buy advertising. So when you post about your books, make sure you add a photo of the front cover, the brief synopsis of what the book is about to pique interest, and then, rather than putting the link to your sales channel in the post, wait for it, put it in the comment box immediately. Liking your own posts. Excuse me, sounds a bit vain, doesn't it? But remember what I said before about engagement? Just by liking your own posts means that at least there's some engagement to begin with, and hopefully more later on. Therefore, the post won't sink into obscurity and not be seen by anyone. And it's also more likely to be shown in your friend's newsfeed. Well, obviously, I can't promise that, of course. So let's go through the best types of posts, shall we, for reaching a wide audience, and the worst types of posts. Okay, so the best types of posts are live videos, images, posts with lots of engagements, likes and comments, posts from pages with full profiles, yes, them again, so make sure that your Facebook author page is full and complete. And also likes brand new content. And the worst types of posts are text only, anything that's overly salesy or overly promotional. And why? Because, as I said before, Facebook wants you to pay for advertising, and too many posts or sales posts is going to eventually reduce your audience reach to zero. Ouch. So how do you create a post with lots of engagement? Let's give you an example. People love to give their opinion, don't they? Ask your followers questions such as, do you prefer this cover or this cover? Watch the comments flow, and don't forget, of course, to ensure you show both of the alternative covers, perhaps with an idea of what the book is about. The going live videos are being heavily favoured by Facebook right now, so get chatting live on video about your book to your followers, or read part of a chapter of your book. Find out when most of your followers are looking at Facebook, and you'll be able to gauge this once your insights get going, which are the metrics of your audience. Be consistent with your posts, remain active, and last of all, think about your audience, obviously the most likely readers of your books, and tailor and design your posts to appeal to them. Right, next one. Number 6, shrinking, violent, or over salesy. How to find a happy medium and not annoy people. One thing I see a lot of on my group, authors promoting their books, is people posting an image of their book, but no link to their sales channel. What's that all about? And I actively encourage my readers to do this. Just imagine you've designed or had a designer produce a most spectacular book for your cover. It's wonderful. All your friends and colleagues, your partner, your mum and dad have complimented you on the perfection that represents your written words. But then no one knows where to buy it. Well, that's just ridiculous. When posting about your book, whether it's on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, or wherever, add a link to your sales channel. Don't be shy. Don't think you're driving people mad with your posts. Just make sure that you add a link to your sales channel. You can use your Amazon author page, see it's worth doing it properly, then all of your books will be in one place. You may have the most wonderful, earth-shattering story or information to impart, but if no one knows where to buy it, you'll be writing for yourself. Don't just post, read my new book or buy my new book. It's arrogant, as it assumes people should know who you are. A cover image and a working link works wonders 2 or 3 times a week. It's professional and doesn't annoy. Okay, your author voice. Another sip of coffee time? Right. It's been proven that readers want to get to know the person behind the books they love and the books they love to read. They want to become part of your tribe, to use a marketing term. So how do you get readers to know the person behind your books? Well, if I may, I'm going to tell you about Book Talk Radio Club that I created for indie authors like you and me. Yes, it's a sales bit, so just bear with me and listen because it's worthwhile, I promise you. Silver Author Membership and Gold Author Membership allows you to have your voice heard live on the internet through 15 to 20 minute interviews about your book. These interviews are then turned into podcasts and promoted and marketed to over 80,000 readers on social media and millions of subscribers to iTunes, TuneIn, Overcast and Stitcher. This will allow your author voice to be heard way above the roar of the crowd. It's a bit like having a public address system but on steroids. This will reduce your anxiety, the feeling of no one knows who I am as an author. I hear from authors all the time saying they have poured their heart and soul into their writing and the publishing of their book, yet nothing is happening and they're so discouraged. It's such a shame. Don't worry about it, as Book Talk Radio Club will get your voice heard above the roar of the crowd. And by the way, if you've never experienced a live interview before and are asking, what questions is she going to ask me? What if I sound really silly and unprofessional? I'm going to put your mind at rest. All authors have their interview questions emailed to them 48 hours before the interview takes place. So there's no surprises and you can think of your answers beforehand. Remember, I'm not here to test you, but to promote you, the author, and your books. So what are the Silver and Gold Author package? Well, both offer you 3 live on-air interviews a year and a dedicated author page with links to your sales channel, your social media pages, your website, and all your blog, along with your bio, a picture of you, and images of your book covers with a brief synopsis of each. Plus, podcasts of your live interviews which are promoted to over 80,000 readers through Facebook pages and specialized groups, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Gold Author Membership also offers syndication of your Book Talk Radio Club interviews to millions of subscribers of iTunes, Stitcher, Overcast, and TuneIn. Everyone knows iTunes, but did you know that TuneIn alone has over 50 million subscribers a month? That's one hell of a lot of people that could listen to your author interviews and hear about your books. So what can you expect from the Silver and Gold memberships? A huge amount of exposure to your author brand, leading to sales of your books. That's a huge amount of exposure. I'd love you to sign up if you're an action taker, if you're a self-published author that wants to get their book seen and their name known, if you want readers talking about you, and in the best possible way, of course. I think as an indie author, we've put enough of our heart and soul into our books, and I want you to know that I'll put my heart and soul into promoting your hard work. To enroll in either of the packages, you can go to booktalkradio.info/author services, but don't disappear yet, as I've got a special offer for you, of course, for the Gold Author membership package. And now for the price. Well, I wanted to make sure the prices were affordable to all indie authors. I'm tired of reading about indie authors getting taken advantage of and being overcharged for things. If you enroll today, you're going to pay £85, which is approximately $110 for the yearly Silver Author membership, and £175, which is approximately $230 for the yearly Gold Author membership. However, with a special offer for you as attendees of this webinar, if you enroll in the Gold Author membership before the webinar ends, I would discount the price from £175 to £125, which is from $130 to $160. Now, usually at this point, I pull up the Buy Now button, but I'll give you the link in the email that you'll see. Remember, the author membership gives you 3 live on-air interviews in a year and a dedicated author page on Book Talk Radio Club's website. And on your author page, you're going to get links to your sales channel, i.e. Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and wherever else. Your social media pages, including Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, and LinkedIn. Your website or blog. Your Goodreads author page, a podcast of your Book Talk Radio Club interviews, images of your book covers with a brief synopsis of each book, and up to 5 positive feedbacks. Marketing and promotion to over 80,000 readers on Facebook pages and specialized groups, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. And the Gold Author membership also offers syndication of your Book Talk Radio Club interview to subscribers of iTunes, Stitcher, Overcast, and TuneIn. Now, payments are processed through PayPal, so whether you check out using a credit card or a PayPal account, you know your details are not seen by me or anyone else. Be sure to sign up, and I'll discount the price from £175 to £125, which is approximately $230 US to $160 US. Now, if I may, I'd like to share with you some of the wonderful reviews received from Book Talk Radio Club's authors. Everdeen Brickwood. Book Talk Radio Club is more than just a new marketing service for self-publishers. Claire Perkins' genuine interest in her fellow authors and their books is tangible during the interviews. It felt more like chatting to a friend, and I'd do it again in a heartbeat. Gordon Kewen. Dear Claire, I wanted to write and tell you how impressed I was this morning with your interview. I thought your range of questions were appropriate and focused not only on me as the author, but also took into account the characters in my writing, both fiction and non-fiction. I was equally impressed as to the professionalism exhibited both before, during, and after the interview. I look forward to working with you again. And Cindy Stone, author of Scorpion. Claire Perkins asked great questions. I've been interviewed many times on national TV and radio shows, and Claire got to the core of my message and highlighted all of what was important to readers about my book. Thank you. So once again, enroll in the Gold Author membership, and I'll discount the price from £175 to £125, which is approximately $230 US down to $160 US. So you can hit the Buy It Now button in the link in the email. If you've got any questions, please feel free to email me on Claire, CLAIRE, HP @booktalkradio.info. Thanks so much for coming to the Indie Authors How to Get Your Voice Heard Above the Roar Crowd webinar. I wish you all the very best of luck with your books, and here's to Indie Authors definitely being the real deal. Thank you, everyone. Look forward to hearing from you.